Well, this is what Saturday night looks like now. It's late. Um, I had a great day with my children. Um, I have a glass of red wine, which is my first of the evening. The thing that's on my mind today is, I guess I should say, are two things: the ideas of wishes and losses. I feel like those two things have been threaded through my life today in so many ways. Um, really, in the last 24 hours, because I think I had dreams last night that had those themes in them and had some kind of important people from my life kind of in my dreams. And, my children have been dealing with a lot of things that kids, of course, across the country are dealing with, and obviously elsewhere in this world. There's a ton of suffering in children that has nothing to do with COVID, of course, but in the context right now of what's happening here, my daughter's a senior, and she just keeps the losses just keep racking up for her. And just sitting with her today and just looking at her and seeing her for the beautiful person that she is. She's had a lot of losses, and she protects herself. She has a really tough shell, and I think she's going to grow up to be an interesting woman. And I want her to feel steadfast in her beliefs and find her voice. She hasn't found her voice yet, but I think she knows herself really well, and I'm happy about that. But she's had a lot of losses. Just today, she found out that, after losing prom and graduation and her senior dance performance, which she's been working for 5 years, basically, now she's lost the trip that she was going to take, which was going to be really important to her. And she just kind of rolls with it. She doesn't gnash her teeth or stomp her feet, or she just kind of internalizes her feelings and just keeps moving. And you know there are other things in her life that are also losses that she's dealing with. And tonight I was laying in my son's bed, and he was upset because he is going to be 12 in a week. And in some ways, he feels disconnected from his peers. And he doesn't understand why he does not have things that his peers have. And he was really, feeling his feelings about that and wishing for things to be different in his life. And we all can relate to the idea of just being tired at the end of the day and just kind of falling apart emotionally. And I just let him fall apart. And I validated what he was feeling and just rubbed his back and told him I loved him, and kind of repeated back what he said. And I've always, from the time that I was first pregnant with my daughter, I've always sang to my children. And usually when I would sing to them, it was in sweet moments, like quiet moments, rocking them. Often, of course, when they were getting ready to go to sleep, or putting them to sleep when they were babies or littles. And I have special songs for my kids, and they know those songs. And tonight, the strangest thing happened. I was just laying with my son, and he was emotional, and he was talking about some feelings of wishing things being different that were, his feelings. And I just had this desire all of a sudden to sing Stand By Me. And that's never been one of my songs. Like, literally, never been one of the songs that I go to. I could list the songs that are the lullabies for my children or the special songs for them, and that's not on the list. It's a fine song, sweet. I'm going to add it to my playlist tonight. But it just came over me, and I just started singing it to him, apropos of nothing. Kind of sang him the chorus of that song. And he turned over and he looked at me with amazement on his face and said, "That's one of my favorite songs. How did you know to sing that?" And I said, "I don't know. Just the connection tonight, I suppose." And I was saying these things just to myself in this video, but today I've just been, kind of in my feelings around things that I wish were different in my life. All day I've just been thinking about things that I wish were different. Thinking about things that I've lost and that I'm losing, that I maybe never had to lose. Things that were never mine, so how could I lose them? That kind of thing. Lots of thoughts like that, and then to spend this evening with my children, which was a lovely evening, it was great, but just knowing that they're having their own wishes for things and losses, and we're just at a strange time in our lives, and so those are my thoughts. I just feel real, I don't know, can't really come up with the right word, but I think I've said enough. So, but tomorrow's another day, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what's ahead, so I have every reason to believe that tomorrow is going to be a lovely and wonderful day. So those are my thoughts. I took a little walk, 6 foot apart walk with a friend this evening, and she was saying that she felt like she didn't feel like her lungs were very strong. And that was not something I was used to hearing this particular friend say. And I said, well, maybe you could just do some breathing exercises, like when you come out of the hospital and you need to do some breathing exercises. And she said, you know what, I actually have one of those little breathing devices where you're trying to strengthen your lungs. She said, I think I'm going to use that. And I said, that sounds like a great idea. So the reason I'm saying that is because tonight I think my exercise is going to go right back to the breath. I think that, all the things that are scary about this illness that is so prevalent now, this pandemic, are that it attacks the very source of our life, our lungs. Our lungs are what bring us the oxygen that we need, and that get rid of the waste that we don't need that will poison us. And that is really frightening, that's what gets attacked in a really significant way from the things I've read, just really devastating. And so it only makes sense that people would start to really think about their breath in a way that maybe they haven't before. And so tonight I am going to do what I did a few nights ago. I'm just going to keep breathing. And I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a sip of red wine right now, my first of the day. That's nice. And then I am going to just sit and I'm going to breathe. And, I think that, just reminding my own body that my lungs are strong, my lungs are capable. Just feeling the full force of that. And pausing on the inhale. I don't even need to count. I really just want to breathe in such a way as to challenge my lungs, just like I challenge my body when I work out. I'm going to take all the breath in that I can take, and I'm going to pause for 2 counts, and then I'm going to exhale like mad. And I'm just going to keep challenging my lungs that way. I'm going to breathe like that tonight before I go to bed. I'm going to do 5 minutes of that kind of breathing, which is just something like this. I remember being a little girl, I had a lifetime of pneumonia and asthma. And I remember going to Tulane Medical Center, actually, on Tulane Avenue downtown when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, routinely several times a year. And they would have me breathe into this machine, and it was measuring the strength of my lungs and the output of my lungs. And it was such hard work. And the whole goal was like, how much can you exhale? The force. How much force can you force out of your lungs? Was a measure of how much lung damage you might have had. And so that is what I envision, being a little girl and just wanting so badly to do well on that test. And so just doing that feels like I'm, strong, just a little bit strong, and I'm testing my lungs and I'm challenging myself in the face of things that are really scary, and in the face of wishes and losses.